create a video for the intro. Hey,
Oh, we're live.
hey, perfect. All right. Well, guys, I hope you're ready for tonight. Welcome to episode 92 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summer Racing. Guys, Drag Driver Pete said we're your source of news and entertainment, the drag and drive community. And it is no more apparent than tonight on this show. We're talking about PRI 2024, second largest automotive trade show in the world. Talking about the second annual Drag and Drive Awards winners and some stories from that. The Grabiaks will be on. That's going to be a fun one. We're giving them a whole hour, and we're probably going to go over. So get comfortable. And up first, really, I guess probably after some event stuff, is Matt Lane with Back to the Streets, and he's got a ton of updates to talk about on that event. So, Mr. Eric, we hit the intro video, and let's kick this thing off.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna pack things up and hit the road, try to make it the next day.
All right. So I got Eric's note to me. Says, "Hey, dude, stop screaming into the mic." So let me know if that's any better. I'll adjust on it as we go throughout here throughout the night.
I think it sounds good.
All right, perfect. Well, guys, my name is Mike Narks. I'm the host of the Drag Driver Pete Show and the Drag Driver Pete News, and really live, breathe, sleep, eat everything drag and drive. And I love you guys. Just want to say that we're getting down to the end of the year, man. I'm thankful for this craziness. Mr. Eric White, my right hand man, introduce yourself. Tell them what you got going on, man.
I am Eric White, the co-host of both the show and the news. Right-hand man means pretty much anything drag, drive, repeat related, circuit related, helping other events with artwork, racer profile pictures, stuff like that. And lately, it's been a lot of photos. So just wrapped up Drag Week photos, and we'll talk a little bit about PRI photos, but those will start dropping tonight after the show.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. We're actually going to go through a few of those here on the show. And guys, I didn't even look at those. I didn't even peek at them. So you guys are going to see them at the same time I do. Well, guys, we can't do this without you guys. Our race car friends are, that you guys are what makes the world go round. That's for sure. We appreciate you guys and all you do. Please hit the share button as we get into this episode tonight. This is going to be a fun one. Again, we have the Grabiak on. We have Matt Lang on. This is going to be fun. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And of course, our sponsors got a chance to really talk to them at PRI. That was a lot of fun to catch up with all those folks. So Summit Racing, thank you. Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, who was in our booth with us. That was really cool to have Chris there. Performer Built Transmissions, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, J-Wire Solutions, Racing Junk, and Power Tube TV. You guys are all awesome. You make all of this stuff go around and all this world work. That's for sure. So thank you for the incredible year. All right. Summit Racing. I don't know if you know this, but their speed legacy began in 1968 as a one-man operation and is now the world's speed shop with 4 facilities and 200 plus catalog editions. Summit fuels your passion. They save you money and offer top-notch customer service on more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, or you can tune into the On All Cylinders podcast for more automotive discussions like this. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. They also stand by your need for shade with the new Drag Driver Pete hats. Do you like how I worked that in there?
Yeah, that was pretty slick. Almost
Yeah.
as slick as those hats.
I'm telling you, dude, $17 Man,
That's
listen,
that's
if
the
I don't
deal.
see some of them at Sick Week, I'm gonna be pissed. That's pretty cool, man. I want to say thanks to Summit for obviously helping us. You know, man, it's cool to that they offer our products on their website and in their catalogs and all that kind of stuff. So again, when you're buying those parts, looking for that special part for that special person, jump on there, summitracing.com, drag drive repeat. You can jump on there. Hoodies. I thought I was wearing my hoodie tonight. I am not, but hoodies, t-shirts, and now shade bearing hats. So pretty cool, man. I want to say thanks to them for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's talk about some driven racing oil event updates.
All right. Driven racing oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application, whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off road and circle track, or pushing limits in top fuel drag boats and demo derbies. Winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state of the art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. And you guys know drivenracingoil.com is the website, and you can follow them on social media Driven Racing Oil, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
All the fun stuff. They were awesome to hang out with. We got to go to the dinner there on Friday night, I guess it was, and it's a great dinner. I want to say thanks to Driven, Bill, and the whole team over there. Got to hang out with everybody. It was really cool. Uh, let's talk about some new events that are hitting the radar that we just saw over the weekend while we were at PRI. This is a brand new one. It's Buckeye Skips. I love the name. 3 days, three tracks. You cruise them, you race them. I love it, man. We got to talk to these folks. This is going to be at Kunal Motorsports Park outside Cleveland, Ohio. So another northeastern style event up there, October 16th through 18th. Then we've got King of the Open Road. This is a regional event, just so everybody knows. Just we're continuing to add these regional ones, and I love it. Next up is King of the Open Road. They released their dates for they're moving to the fall event at Tulsa Raceway Park. I'm so excited to see that many cars come in. You know, they do 200 cars as well. So now you have the circuit at Tulsa Raceway, you have Rocky Mountain Race Week at Tulsa Raceway Park, and you have King of the Open Road at Tulsa. I can't wait. This is going to be awesome. The whole community around Tulsa is just going to be exploding with street cars. It's going to be really really fun. And that, dude, think about that. That's almost 1,000 entries. That is 1,000 entries for Tulsa Raceway Park for a drag and drive in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's insane. That's really cool. Hot Rod Drag Week dropped their dates and tracks. This was a big deal because we really were expecting this at PRI, and then the magazine was purchased, and you know how things go from there. So, Hot Rod Drag Week is going to be September 14th, 19th at Michigan or Maryland International Raceway down to Numidia, and one of our sponsors is very close to Numidia and sent me a message today, and I got him in touch with Mike Galemi, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to end up at their spot for one of the route stops, which would be really, really cool on
Yeah.
Hot Rod Week. Then they're going to go to Cecil County and then Maple Grove. So it should be really, really fun. I'm excited about this. What's Jay saying here?
Just saying, hey guys, great week last week. Thanks for everything you do for the Drag and Drive community. So glad we can be a part of it. Jay Wire to the front.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
And then the last event that we're going to cover is Redwood Rally, and they announced their dates while they were in our booth live at PRI. So those dates again are September 22nd through 27th, and begins at Medford Drag Strip in Medford. What is that? Oregon.
Oregon. Yep. So that should be pretty fun. I appreciate them doing that and coming out for, allowing us to break that news. I mean, it wasn't us that broke it; they broke it in our booth. But it was really cool for them to wait and do that at PRI. And then what's really cool about it is we really thought it would kind of be ahead of Drag Week, and then Drag Week never did. So the only event that was announced at PRI, the only Drag and Drive event, was Redwood Rally. So that was really cool to be a part of that.
Yeah. Yep. So that'll be right directly after Hot Rod Drag Week.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So Drag Weekend's on the 19th. Are you
yep,
doing the math here? Uh, Redwood Rally starts on the 22nd. We
yep.
know
So
a guy in a blue Volvo.
yep, Maryland to Oregon,
Hmm.
and what's that? 3 days?
Yeah. If anybody can do it, Jesse Fox is the man.
Yeah, that'll be wild.
Yeah. So if you're looking for someone to support for cross country drives, hit up Jesse Fox of 3G Video because he's trying to talk me into riding with him, and I'm just not going to do it, man. That's just it's too far because that means that I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That would be a pretty crazy trip.
Have you done the mileage for that?
No, but it's got to be 2,800 or something like that. Pretty
Whew.
close. Yeah. Yeah. Are you looking it up?
Yeah,
Yeah. So again, if anybody can do it, I believe it's Jesse. He did a lot of that when the trifecta of Big Sky and Six Summer and Rocky Mountain were kind of all together this past year. So if anybody can do it, it's him. But man, that's a long way.
yeah. All right. It
And then
looks like it is. Wait for it. 2855. Like,
wow.
yeah, literally one side of the country to the other.
Yeah, it's literally that far.
Yeah,
That's what I told him. I said, "Man, you've really got to go at least start at the beach on the Atlantic, and then you'll end up by the coast in the Pacific doing that." So I don't know if I'm going to do that. Trevor Brandon here says short drive, 6 weeks, 5,500 kilometers for him.
yeah. Just looking at the map here, obviously you start in Maryland. Depending on the route you take, you could maybe slice through West Virginia. You're going through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, you're all of them.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna hit probably 10 plus different states going across there.
Oh man. Well, I just dropped the link to the event list 2025 in the chat there. And guys, I'm telling you, let me jump on here. I think we are close to 30 events already. So that puts us at 26 events known for 2025 already. And we don't have a lot of the stuff that's up there. Again, Buckeye Skips is going to be a new one. We have Wild West Dragon Drive that's new this year as well. We talked about a couple weeks ago that's down in Texas. And I have a post that's going to go up in the morning at 10 that is going to kind of it's going to be really cool when you guys see it. If you guys will remember back in 22, I think I did a map. I did that again for 2025 and we're starting to see some clustery stuff, which is great for the folks on the eastern side of the country. Folks on the western side of the country, come on, man, get your ass in gear. Let's go. Let's host some events. Let's be promoters, and let's do this. All right, and then next up for our last bit of event stuff, guys, can you believe it? Next week is the last show of 2024. Be episode 93. We've been talking about doing this for a long time, and we're just going to dive in and do this. So next Friday night, that's right, because we're not going to be live Wednesday because it's Christmas. Next Friday night, we're going to make a post in the Race Car Friends group, probably Monday or Tuesday, something like that, and we're inviting the general public to come in here and jump on with us. We can have up to, I think, 8 or 9 people on screen at one time. And we just really want stories. So we'll come up with 2 or 3 topics that will kind of fit in. Basically, I want to cycle through 50 people during this time. We're going to have some beers. We're going to bring people on. We're going to talk. We're going to tell some stories. We're not going to bring them on individually. We're going to have 4 or 5 people on at one time. So It's going to be a long format. 3 hours is kind of what I'm planning in my mind. Because by the end of that, I won't need to be on live anymore. That's what I'm saying. So, just going to have fun before the end of the year, and all the stress of 2025 workload starts taking over. And so next Friday night, December 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern, just plan to be here. Look, make comments, hang out, put it on your TV, listen to stories from people from all over the country. We want I want recent stories. I think will be kind of the fun part, and then whatever we get into from there is going to be a blast. So this will be posted up Monday or Tuesday with comments and links and all that stuff. So yeah, Eric is not excited.
Yeah, it's it sounds chaotic, but it
Yeah,
sounds like it'd be a fun chaotic.
yeah, that's going to be an understatement of the week. Is chaotic. All right. Well, let's get to talk.
Yep, just catching up on some comments here.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. I see.
Derek, good to see you both at PRI Dragon Drive taking over. NHRA stock saying tied up tonight. Have to watch this tomorrow. Congrats to the Grabiaks.
Yeah, I know we had to move it back one night, but it was really a cool story. Eric ended up getting to hang out with some VPs and big dogs at his work, so kind of a Christmas party there. So when gotta have that happen, man. Can't skip that for Dragon Drive live stream. You got to get those promotions and do more with more. So, all right, let's talk about Molly Motorsports because we had a call with them today. Their new social media guy, primo dude.
Oh
I
yeah.
like him a bunch. Love Eric Grillo. New guy's going to be great too. Hopefully that will give Eric more time to do Eric Grillo stuff. All right, I'll read this one here. Attention, high performance enthusiasts and racers. Meet the Molly Motorsport Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. The Power Pack pistons are made from either 4032 aluminum alloy to allow for tighter cylinder to wall clearances and improved temperature stability, or 2618 alloy to allow for increased detonation resistance. What sets Molly apart? Forged pistons, graphol coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Molly Motorsport, where performance meets precision. Visit mollymotorsport.com. And for all the podcast listeners, Molly is spelled Mahle. All righty, let's bring on Mr. Matt Lang because I want to talk about this event. I went to Back to the Streets in 2023, and I'm gonna tell you this thing was a blast. So, Mr. Matt, how are you this evening, sir?
Pretty good. How are you?
Man, I'm awesome. I can't believe we're at the end of 24. We're past PRI, and Christmas is next week, dude. Where did the time go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Time is flying. Yep.
That is for sure. Well, kind of introduce yourself. Tell everybody. I mean, everybody probably knows who you are from us talking about it, but who you are, where you're from, all that, and about Back to the Streets.
All right. So I'm Matt Lang, avid Dragon Drive racer and now promoter of Back to the Streets. Yeah, I'm building a C6 Corvette for 850 class. Brian, I'm coming for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I got a chance to attend this in 2023, and dude, it really changed. It's the first no prep Dragon Drive. The format then was like 3 days of racing, front side. We ended up going half track, and then back of the track with a small tire shootout mixed in there. It was one of the funnest events I had been on in 2023, and 2024 was great. You guys had even better racing, I think, just by looking at it from there and all the coverage that came from it. There's
Yeah.
some changes coming for 2025. Kind of walk us through, explain to people how your format works first, though, because I think that's probably the biggest question in an elimination heads up style Dragon Drive. How do they stay in?
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the only heads up style Dragon Drives. When you show up to the track, you chip draw. Whoever you pick, you got to run them, race them heads up off the trailer. So whether it's off a flashlight start or a tree, you'll be racing right off the trailer, no test hits. It is the only no prep Dragon Drive in the country. Hope to keep it that way, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's just a great time. So first day, you run heads up against the guy that you chip draw against. Winners will go into A bracket. Losers go into B bracket for second round. So winners are racing winners, losers are racing losers. It's a great format. It works really well to test your abilities on all the different surfaces. So
Yeah. Do they any test passes or anything? I didn't think we did in 23.
0 test passes at this event.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So as a guy like Frank who comes in, or Austin Sanchez, that car is so fast. Those guys, you really you have done a great job of bringing out a lot of those no prep guys to enjoy this. And so Austin, tell that story about Austin's car, because he drives like 12 miles or 18 miles or something like that.
Yeah, so Austin's got a 3rd gen Camaro that I actually helped tune on, and first year he showed up with a 3-gallon fuel cell and running on methanol. Didn't switch fuel for the entire event. So he drove 300 miles, pulled 150 gallons of methanol on his trailer, and just ran off of that the entire time.
Yeah, they had it down to where they could do it in like 8 minutes or something like that. Fill the tank in 8 minutes.
Yeah, he stopped every 13 miles.
Yeah, crazy. Wow. Yeah, that's wild. And so he came last year with a bigger cell, right? Like he had done a few more street things to it, kind of with this event in mind.
Yeah, he did get a tune-up for E85 last year, or this year, I guess, and he got like 20 miles to the gallon to the tank. Helped a little bit.
Man, that's crazy.
Drove through a monsoon. So.
Yeah, street cars, man.
Right.
That's what it's about. Well, let's flip through some of these things. So you kind of lay this out in what we're looking at here. I'm going to pull the.
Yeah. So this year, we decided to change up basically everything. We've had a great event in Michigan, and we just want to move it to a new area and change everything. So we're going to move to Indiana. First track's going to be host track, Muncie Dragway. From there, we're going to go to Mosier as a checkpoint. Bunker Hill will be the second track on Thursday. Cone is a checkpoint. We have Don Schumacher Racing as well as another checkpoint. And then the big track that we really are so excited to announce, Brown County Dragway. Nobody's ever raced there in a drag and drive format. It's going to be awesome. The biggest no prep track in the country.
Yes.
Will be hosting Back to the Streets 2025.
This is going to be wild. To me, this track, and I even told you in the beginning, dude, this is going to set this event off, because so many people want to go to Brown County, and now they have a great opportunity to not only drag and drive, but then, go heads up racing at Brown County.
Yep. And another change for this year will be racing under the lights. So racing at night, camping at the tracks, driving in the mornings, racing the next night.
Man, I love it. It gives an opportunity for a lot more spectators to come out. I think people are used to that. They're not necessarily used to coming to the track at 8 o'clock in the morning and everything being done by 3 o'clock. Right. So this is going to be really cool, especially when you roll into Brown County or Muncie or Bunker Hill. I mean, those are great tracks, but dude, good stuff right here.
So all front side this year will run off the tree. We've added 2 index classes, 650 and 750. The dates are going to be May 21st to the 24th. Sunday, we're adding a big end banger shootout. So Adam Hodson's going to host an awesome shootout on the backside of Muncie. It's going to be an awesome time.
Yeah, so none of these guys in the drag and drive are going to have any data for the backside for the big end banger when it comes down to Sunday. It's going to be perfect, dude.
Yep, and we're going to add in another probably 40 or 50 cars for the big end banger. So,
well, and I think that's what's really, really cool, because like when we went to I think you linked up with the Peso event, right? Is that
yep.
Yeah, Peso Productions or whatever, and so racers got a discount to get in the and stuff like that. So to see these cars, I think Matt Walter entered to go rounds against like dedicated race cars. Dude, you talk about some serious respect from the racers. They're like, oh my God, this guy I just got beat by a street car. Like a real street car just drove, 400 miles.
Stick shift street car.
Yeah, that's
In
right.
Mount
Yeah.
Holden. Yep.
Yeah, so this will be really cool. And this is what, again, I love about seeing regional events take off. There's a lot of different ways we can do this drag and drive stuff, and I think this is a great way to do it. I mean, it's awesome. I love it.
Yep. So we're also changing the dates this year. We're going to run May 21st to the 24th.
Yeah, I think the dates are great. That's still going to be some amazing weather in Indiana, and man, that should make for some really, really fast
Yes.
racing for sure.
Yep.
And then love the route stops here. I've got those up on screen for folks that are listening on the podcast of this later. Jump over to YouTube, see all this stuff. Probably the best way to watch this. That or on Facebook. But the street drive's 300 miles. I think the loop you've got here is great. Turn by turn directions. I'm trying to read through here. Headlights, turn signals, horn, and trailer lights are a must. You know, it's regular drag and drive stuff here. And then classes here, you've got small tire, hard tire, which the hard tire class when I was there was awesome. I don't remember who was in the blue Colorado.
Ron Fensler.
Yeah, that thing got down. True
Yep.
Street, stick shift, modern. What's modern mean? What's that?
So modern's 2004 and newer. It'll be on a street tire. Yeah, it's just more of the daily driver kind of newer Mustangs, Hellcats, Corvettes.
All-wheel drive pickups.
Sure.
Yeah, that's also
and then tire, but yes.
Right, and then 650 and 750 index, no prep, no test passes.
Yes.
How many passes are these guys gonna? Are we gonna do one round or two?
2 a day, and
oh man,
so we got 3 days, and then the 4th day we'll do the ladder to point out the winners.
Yeah, and I think last year you ran like I don't know, people will run 3 or 4 times that day easily. So yeah, this is gonna be really fun. Entry looks like here $350 for all classes, includes event shirts for driver and co-pilot, vehicle decal pack, and entry into the track. So same that you get everywhere. And then you go into some detail here. I'm sure all this stuff can be found on the website or on the Facebook page too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Give a shout out to those, and then we'll get back to work here.
So, and then the other thing I want to mention is this event promotes people staying at the tracks every night. Hotel beers are awesome, but camping beers are better.
Yeah.
So we love to just hang out at the track, party till 1 or 2 a.m., wake up, and do it all again.
Well, and the cool thing about track stuff, we're going to learn this year with the circuit because we're doing the same. Like, I think I had this conversation in Facebook earlier with somebody. How do people afford to do more, right? Man, camping is a great way to do that. You can spend $50 on a tent and a sleeping bag and make a weekend trip like this, and it'd be fine. Now I don't know if I want to camp every night for a week-long event, but dude, for a weekend, heck yeah, I'll spend 2 or 3 nights outside.
Yeah. Scott Story actually had a like $3,000 truck topper camper that was awesome. It was like better than the house.
Nice. Yeah, I need one of those. We've been looking at Eric and I talk about this all the time, but I need something that is cool enough that I can have a reason to drag it around the country.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll do a topper, but maybe like an old camper trailer. So I think that's the next evolution of drag and drive is the camper trailer set up for everybody.
Do you have registration dates set yet?
No, I think probably before the beginning of the year. So next week.
Nice. Perfect. Let's get on it, dude.
We're not messing around this year. We are.
Yeah. As soon as you lock that in or how to do it, man, let us know. We'll start putting it out there. So everybody, you heard it here. Back to the streets. The first and really only no prep drag and drive. That's the standard format where you're going to race for several days, dude. I really do love this heads up style setup that we're seeing from a lot of you, a lot of promoters that are out there.
Well, thank you, Mike and Eric. I really appreciate the time.
Yeah, dude. What's the website again?
www.backtothestreetsdmd.com.
Sweet. All right, man. We'll get that shared in the description and then here in the comments as well. All right, man. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, man. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Good.
Dude, I'm telling you, this event right here is a blast.
I've been to to Muncie and Bunker Hill. Those are both cool tracks. I haven't
Yeah.
been to the was it Brownsville?
Brown County. So
Brown.
that's the one where they do like War in the Woods and all that stuff, where all those folks, I mean, just got grass in the middle and the lanes are like 12 feet wide or something
Yeah.
goofy. So that ought to be pretty interesting. And for him to be racing at night, man, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I definitely would be interested in that one, and I think it's a time of year where I don't have a whole lot going on, so gonna have to
Yeah.
put that one on my list for sure.
Yeah. And I don't think that's too far from you. If Indy wasn't that far, if Indy was
No,
4 hours, this should be, 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. So yeah,
yeah,
we got to figure out. This is definitely on my short list. I still hadn't made my 25 schedule, but this is definitely on my short list because I think going there and then them doing the big and banger, it's just really going to elevate the entire event.
yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. If you haven't done it yet, guys, go follow Back to the Streets. Go follow Matt Lang. Super cool stuff. All right, let's do it, man. Let's get rolling here on the next bit. Trying to stay on um, topic here and in order, man. We're trying to run through this, trying to give the Grabiaks enough time at the end. So, J Wire Solutions got a chance to hang out with Jay Blanchard and the lovely Ann and spend some time with them. J Wire Solutions is your expert car and marine solutions you can trust. J Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, race car, your drag and drive car, anything you want. Plus, they offer products that make your driving experience even better, like the blinker module. I know we talk about this all the time, but listen, it's a must for all drag and drive cars. This module allows your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like the stock car does. It won't turn off your blinker whenever your brakes are on. That's the key thing right there. Get it? That's the key thing right there. Well, during the J-Wire Solutions segment this week, we are talking about the Drag and Drive Awards presented by Summit Racing. This was a blast, dude.
Yeah, look at them trophies.
I mean, listen, Travis Wise, revved up Laserworks, big boy stuff right there. It was really cool. Yeah, that one right there. It was really cool to see these in person. The belts were over the top, man. Listen, I'm telling you, he does all of our stuff already, but he's going to do all of our stuff for as long as he wants to. He just has an eye. I tell him, hey, this is kind of the budget we need to be in, and he makes it work. He probably doesn't make the money he needs to on us, but I think he enjoys it as much as anything. So
Yeah, those trophies were nice. They had some weight to them too, though.
hell yeah, they did. We had to carry those things from the parking garage all the way through. Man, even though they were in a rolly tote, we're building something new next year to carry that because it was like they're solid glass.
Yeah,
You know, as big as that picture is there on the screen, you guys can imagine the weight of that. I think it was like 80 or 90 pounds just in trophies. So
I
it
can
was
imagine.
yeah. Yeah. The Drag and Drive Awards started at 11, but dude, we had people in there at like 10:35 or something like that. As soon as we opened the door to start putting all of our stuff together, people were coming in and hanging out. So it was really cool. So a big shout out to Julie at PRI for getting us a great room. The location was awesome, and it was bigger than what we had last year, which is cool because that's what we needed. I would say more than 80, but not quite 100 people in there. I mean, it was pretty full. Obviously, we didn't put that many chairs in there. Standing room only. You guys can stand for an hour while we talk about drag and drive racers. So we'll probably continue to do that. We'll ease up in room size again next year. And then PRI was there. They sent a videographer, and he was running around the whole time taking videos of people. And we got a little bit of I'm not going to say interview, but a chance to kind of tell them what we were doing. So
Yep.
hopefully we make the cut eventually, and we'll have an awards ceremony video from PRI come out. So that was kind of cool. If you guys haven't seen it yet, we live streamed the entire event, and I'm taking those moments and I'm cutting them down. So each time somebody gets an award, I'm going to cut that down. It's going to be its own standalone video, which is much easier for someone to share than the full 50 minutes or whatever was the live stream feed. So Tommy at Summit spoke for a few minutes. That was kind of cool. He actually kind of got nerdy with some stats too. He was talking
Yep.
about 5,000 entries and 3,000 unique racers and stuff across all the events, which, if you think about it, is really big for all of us. That's the biggest year we've had ever. Obviously, it's more events than we've ever done, all that kind of stuff. But the counts there, when you start thinking about that many racers across the world coming in and doing this. Man, it shows you just how much this has grown, and it really grow. It we're not mainstream yet. There's not a lot of large magazines that cover this type racing. We're going to see more of that in the future because we're going to shove it down their throat. But those guys they haven't seen how cool this is yet, but they're about to. I'm telling you, it was this year. There were a lot of really neat drag and drive cars at PRI, and there's a lot of people taking notice. So why don't you run through here, kind of run us through the winners list, sir?
Yep. You gonna handle the photos?
I'll do it.
All right. So we awarded 3 Summit Racing ambassadors. So the Grabiaks were obviously the first one, which we'll have on here shortly. Jeff Oppenheim was our second one. And of course, third, we couldn't do it without our good buddy Rovik there.
Yep.
So
Love that dude.
he was at events this year. I've seen him at probably at least 3 events, and one of them he wasn't even driving; he was just working the lane. So
Yeah, drag week. It was pretty cool.
yep. Next up, we had the Molly Toughest Roadside Repair, which went to Bob Grubber and the Mustang. They tore the heads apart in the Motion Raceworks parking lot, and then went on, what was it, like 42 hours without sleep or something like that, they said,
Yep.
and ended up winning the stick shift class at Sick Summer.
Yeah, 2 race days with no sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Next up was our Road King. That was Mr. Rich Guido with 24,000 miles for the year.
Insane, dude.
Pretty-
Insane. Like 6 or 7 events or something like that. Crazy that he drove his car to. I mean, I don't know how Rich isn't going to get Road King every year. Rovic got it in 2023. Rich got it this year. I mean, like, these guys, do people on, I don't know how, people on the East Coast, you have no chance. You can't do 24,000 miles.
Right. Yeah, unless you're going to I mean, Redwood Rally would still, and that still wouldn't get you. You'd have to do that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, you need to drive to Redwood. You need to drive back home, then you drive back to like Olympic, and then you drive home, and then Miles of Mayhem or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Next up was our bump spot for number 100. So this was Joe Peretti at Midwest Drags with an 8.858 ET average. So that is what our top 100 ended at, is an 8.8. I think we looked last year. Was it in the 8s last year, or was it right at 9?
Actually, let me jump over to dragdriverpete.com and the historical fastest 100. The number 100 spot last year was 8.67 from a drag challenge racer in Australia. So we've kind of been getting quicker. This year it slipped just a little bit with an 8.8. But how about this? How about we go back, let's say, to 2019? 2019, the number 100
Probably
was
9.2.
10.1.
10.1.
Yeah. So it's dropping a lot.
Yeah. But that's crazy to think that there was 100 8-second cars.
Yeah. Unique racers. So that's the key here, is like Bryant Goldstone would have been on that list 4 times, but we take your fastest ET average to make up 1 spot. So this is the fastest 100 racers, not fastest 100 event finishes. So
Right.
that's a pretty big deal when you start looking at it. I need to figure out how many it actually takes to get there, because we have a lot of really fast cars doing more than 1 event.
Yeah. All right, then we're moving on to our quickest regional quarter-mile event. This was Jeremy Canis at an 81C10 at One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend, which is an event local here to me. That was an 8.232 average.
Yeah, this truck gets down, dude. 8.2s out of a brick.
Yeah.
This truck is rowdy. I can't imagine this thing.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. That's my style truck right there.
For sure.
And then the quickest regional 8th mile event was Steve Morris in the Boost Master wagon with a 4.787 average.
Yep. And again, these are 8th mile only classes or 8th mile only events.
Yep.
So
And we already know.
Yeah, nobody collects the 8th mile of a quarter mile pass. It's only the quarter mile. So.
Yeah. And we know the Boost to Master wagon's already quick, so there's no surprise there.
Yeah. Yep. But made it through the weekend, quickest of the year, and there were 15 regional events throughout the year. Now, some of those are heads up style like Matt's, where we don't count, they don't have an ET average at those. And so we don't track those. But in the ones that are in our traditional format, Steve was the fastest one.
Yep. And then we go to our quickest 3 national quarter mile events. Number 3 being Stefan Gustafsson with a 6.7454 at Sick Week in the Bitter Tears Corvette, which is no longer going to be running. He's got that new car he's building.
Yep. So he said that I asked if he wanted me to ship him the trophy, and he said, no, I'll pick it up in the Bitter Tears Camaro. So that car is being tested right now. I'm really hoping they're going to test at Bradenton the week before with US Street Nats, so I can be there for that as well.
Oh, that'd be cool. Second for this was Bryant Goldstone with a 6.5194, also at Sick Week. And then he would have been number 3 and number 4 quickest if we weren't doing the unique racers. So number 3 he would have had with a 6.605 at Six Summer, and then 4th would have been 6.67 at Hot Rod Drag Week.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yep. And then our number 1 here was Brett LaSala with a 6.3402, once again at Sick Week. So our top 3 all happened at Sick Week.
Yeah.
And then quickest 3 national 8th mile, we've got Sheldon Root with a 4.758 average at Sick Week. Number 2, Matt Moore with a 4.687 average at Sick Week. And number 1, Shane Props with a 4.613 average at Redwood Rally, who was at our booth during the announcement of the dates for 2025.
Yeah, and they're putting his car on the shirt, which is really cool. And they were working with a pushrod company to try and get his pushrod situation figured out.
Yep. And then we've got the quickest overall 235 8th mile national. Matt Moore pretty much got to go stand for a second and then came right back up to get a second award here. Rowdy Radial at Sick Week 2024 with a 4.687 average.
Yep.
And then quickest female for this year was Alex Taylor. 6-second averages at Hot Rod Drag Week.
Yeah,
I don't have any more.
And I think Sick Week as well. She's one of 3 racers to run a 6 every day throughout the year.
Yeah.
Brett LaSala, Bryant Goldstone, and Alex Taylor. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They put it down for sure. Hang on. I want to answer something. Trevor Brandon asked for any point changes. I posted those up today. The only change really that came to points is the for 10-0 points champion, which we'll talk about here in a second. Nothing under 10.00 is going to count. So if you run faster than a 10.0, it will not count towards your 10.0 championship. So that's really the only change. The point system worked out, which we're going to talk about here in just a second.
Yep. All right. So then we went on to our first ever 10.0 plus points champion. And this was Rick Dorn with a S550 Mustang.
Yeah, he did a great job, man. He raced a bunch. He was telling us stories about how he had been to a bunch of events and stuff like that. And what is going to be interesting, we say 10.0 champion, but it's really like you worded it, it's 10.0 plus. This can actually be won by anyone with an average slower than 10.000.
Yes.
So if racers do well at Rocky Mountain in the future and their index classes, they could go to Midwest Drags and have a good run at an index class. They could do well in DYO at any of the sick events. They could do well at drag week, with the SME stuff. So this is going to be, to me, this is going to be the tightest championship in the future, simply because you have to win classes to
Right.
do this. You're also going to have to do 3 events to win this, because that's what it took. So Rick won this. If he had not done 3 events, he wouldn't have won it. So
Yep.
he took second at one event, and then one of the rule changes I just thought about. So he got a point because we allowed any 8th mile class that you ran a 6 anything in, you got 1 extra point, because that would put you technically less than a 10-0. For 2025 rules, you'll need to get anything quicker than 6:49 or faster to earn the extra point. But at that point, it will not be eligible for the 10-0 championship points belt. It's going to make it even harder on me throughout the year, but it's going to be worth it, because we want a person that is 10-0 or slower to win this championship belt. So congratulations to Rick Dorn. You'll never take anything away from being the first one.
Yep. And then our 850 to 999 points champion. Again, first ever time we're awarding this. Randy Seward with his Fox Body Mustang there.
Yeah, this was exciting to watch. 109 points for Randy throughout the year, and this was our goal the entire time, was to figure out and make the points amounts to be good enough to where an 8-second car or an 850 limited car could almost win it. So if somebody in a faster car made a mistake, this car, somebody in this range could win it. They could be there. They could just be waiting for them to make a mistake. Randy did that. He proved it. The crazy part is he won every event he went to. He reset records. I mean, it was awesome to watch this go down. 109 points for him for this year.
Yeah, he did everything he could.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, you want to run us through the top 3?
Yeah, definitely. So top 3 for points champions. Again, big shout out to our boys, Brian Acton and Jay Blanchard. 105 points for the year. Crazy. They actually tied with Walter Doyle, but because they had a faster ET average across their 3 events, they win the top 3, the 3rd place in the Dragon Drive Champion Point Series. Randy Seward again takes 2nd place. Randy Seward takes 2nd place with his 109 points. And the man that cannot be beat, Mr. Bryant Goldstone, just dominated for the 2nd year. 2-time Dragon Drive World Champion. This is crazy, the run he made this year. 4 events, winning every class he entered. 6s. He was the only racer to do 2 events in the 6s. 19 days of racing, and he turned in 6-second time slips on 17 of them. Like,
Right.
the man is bad, and built a brand new car during this time as well. So I cannot wait to see this new car. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Crazy. Like,
yeah,
I've said it before, like you don't go from a 640s car and build this level of car not to go 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% his goal with this, is to be out in front again. I think what we've seen this year is allowed Bryant Goldstone to be what he's wanted for a long time, just a badass. I mean, it's really cool to have seen him kind of come out of his shell a little bit. We've given him a lot of time to talk and be in front of the camera, which I think has been fun for him. He's enjoyed it a lot. And the Javelin is not getting retired. The Javelin will be ready to go at any time he wants it to. He's actually taking both cars down to sick week. He's doing testing in the new car, and if it doesn't work out the way he wants, then he's going to jump in the Javelin and go back out and go for another win.
Yeah.
So
It'll be
I think
interesting
we're gonna
see who can compete with him for the world champion.
Yeah, the really cool thing is, like, the only rule change we made for points going into 24, the only points change is that we have provided a 5-second average ET, which obviously has never been done. We've had one person ever run the time, but you'll earn 8 points. That's double what it is for a 6 second average. So 4 points for a 6 second average, 8 points for the first ever 5 second average, or if you race an eighth mile event and are quicker than a 4:10. But that's kind of a two-edged sword there because you can only use one eighth mile event for your points. So
Right.
don't hang your hat on that you're going to win it. But in 2023, when we kicked this off, we saw like Bryant Goldstone, Ryan Hargett, they had to do well at Southeast Street Meet, which is an eighth mile event to get their championship to be in the top runnings. So are we going to see that again? Will it come down to Southeast Street Meet and somebody looking for that low 4 second, high 3 second ET average to make their championship win?
Yeah.
Man, I love it. That's this is where I get a little bit nerdy.
Yeah. Ryan and Bryant battling it out at Southeast Street Meet.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, because there's a ton of new cars that are coming. We're going to talk about that probably next week. There's just so many cars. We're going to talk about a few of them here in the WAF Racing segment, but so many new cars that were at PRI that are being built for Drag and Drive and all that stuff. So pretty intense. Well, if you don't mind, I'll thank our race car friends for being here and want to say thanks, guys. Hit the share button. The Grabiaks will be on here in probably about 15 minutes. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. We've got another segment to run through here, which is our PRI recap. So, guys, we can't do it without you. I don't know. I mean, I say it every time. I say it all the time. Our race car friends are the best thing about Drag and Drive. It's the best thing about doing this. We love you guys. Please hit the share button as you jump in here and get to watching this. And then, of course, our sponsors. They make the travel, the equipment, the late nights. They make all that worth it and worthwhile and work, right? So Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performa Built Transmissions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, Racing Junk Classifieds, and Power Tube. Love you guys. It was great to see everybody at PRI too. It's kind of cool to get just a few minutes to hang out with each of them. We don't typically get to do that when we're at an event. So.
Yeah. And a few minutes is about what we got.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I passed the Molly booth trying to talk to Eric Grillo about 8 times. That dude was busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And guys, the gentleman's agreement is simply this: we love what we do, but it takes a shitload of time and effort, and it's a lot of work, but we love it. And so we're going to keep doing that. But what we need you to do as part of your gentleman's agreement is to just hit the follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching this or listening to it. Hit that. Listen, we're not asking for much. That's it. Just hit that button right there where you're seeing this at and do that for us. We'll keep working hard over here. You keep doing that stuff over there, and we'll keep moving on. And then PowerTube TV, got to hang out with those guys, like a 2-hour live stream on Saturday morning at PRI. Man, I got to interview a lot of new shows that are coming out on their app. And again, it's a great creator area. We're in the content creator development program. So essentially we get to lean on Ray and Brian's years and years of knowledge and grow our stuff on this side with that knowledge, but also they provide a content outlet for fans of ours and new fans for them to find us. We actually play replays of this show on that every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And then a lot of exclusive content is going to be coming in 25. We gave them a few things in 2024. 2025 is a whole different level. We're excited to provide stuff for them over there and continue to help that brand and app. He called it something. It's free with advertising, streaming television, or something like that.
It was the acronym was FAST. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something like that. So again, it's a free app. It's like Hulu or Netflix or anything like that, but it's car stuff all the time, all day, every day, 6 or 7 different channels on there. They have a podcast, they have a build, they have news, they have all kinds of different stuff. So anyway, check it out. PowerTube TV. You can find it at watchpttv.com or just search PowerTube on your app store. All righty. I'll lead us into the WAF racing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you part of the Drag and Drive community and looking for high quality, custom automotive tools designed specifically for your needs? Look no further than WAF Racing. At WAF Racing, They specialize in designing and manufacturing top tier automotive tools that are made to withstand the rigors of drag racing and long distance driving events. Whether you're fine tuning your ride, making repairs on the fly, or looking for that perfect custom tool to make your life easier, they've got you covered. With cutting edge design, tools, and robust manufacturing, products are precision engineered to meet your needs. From carburetor toolkits and top hats to spark plug storage containers, every piece WAF creates is designed with the racer in mind. Need something custom just for you? They can do that too. Take your racing experience to the next level with WAF Racing, custom, reliable, and built to perform just like you. Visit them today at waf-racing.com or find them on social media and get the tools that will save you time at the track.
Yes. Well, we're going to talk about PRI. This is going to be our PRI recap. And couldn't have better timing here. Mr. Steve Hafner coming here saying, "Sup, y'all?" Bruh, his car, primo stuff.
Yes.
Primo cannot, it, man, definitely. I just want to run through the recap real quick. I want to give a big shout out to Eric White. First of all, dude worked his ass off. Pictures, photos, 20,000 steps a day. Thank you so much for being the RHM here, dude. You can't do it without you.
Yeah, you were in bed while I was still editing photos. Just
Yes,
every night.
100%. 100%. I want to give a big shout out. I want to say thank you to Stephen Narks, my brother, drove us up there, handled everything. We could leave him we left him in the Drag and Drive Awards room. We left him at the booth all the time. He kind of became our operator in that situation. I want to give a shout out to Travis Wise. Thank you for coming in, Nico, or Travis Wise for coming in, also working the booth, but also the badass trophies, dude. It was so cool to see those, just see his brain work. The belt's 150 individual pieces. It took him a week to put together. Y'all, I want you to understand how insanely awesome that was. Nico, thank you for coming in, buddy. I know you burned some vacation time, come in, hung out. Thank you so much to Nico. Thank you to Chris Wozniak of WAF Racing. He came in, he covered the booth several different times. A lot of times it probably helped him because he was talking to people that were coming by, talking about his product. So it was really cool to have him there. Really appreciate that. Lauren Narks, thank you for covering. So thank you for hanging out with us. Richard, you're the man. Love you, dude. The photos that are coming from him, drone stuff that's coming from him is super cool. Colt Beck, thanks for watching the booth while we were at the Drag and Drive Awards. And man, listen, you and I walked and walked and walked a lot while we were there. We would come back a lot of times. Another big shout out to Robert Voss, Camp Counselor Bob, over there singing our praises at booths across the floor. Introduced us to a potential new sponsor. We'll say thank you to him. Just provided tons of fun, man. We really had a great time with him all weekend. And then Alex and Holly Rops, my new people, love you guys. Thank you so much again for just coming, hanging out, and spending time with us during that whole, I don't know, time that we were there.
Yeah, and we ended up with a dang good dinner last night. So
man, it was pretty cool. I tell you, the Brazilian steakhouse was worth it. It was worth it. And thanks to Travis Wise, he bought our dinner. How
yeah.
cool was it?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Before we kick off this, I want to say something to Trevor Brandon here. Says, glad you guys were online a bunch at PRI. Sad to miss out. Man, once we got done, you and I even talked about this, dude. I feel like we didn't do as many live streams as we needed to. So there's a lot of stuff in the works. We are talking about doing a bigger booth next year and including some of our, I'm not going to say smaller sponsors, but small business sponsors to give them an opportunity, a spot to hang out and maybe display some of their products and things like that. But the whole plan behind going from a 10 by 10 to something like a 10 by 30 is to incorporate a lot more live streaming, a lot more. We'll just turn the camera on and be on for 2 hours. And then when somebody walks by that we know, we'll wave them in and we'll sit down. It'll give us a chance for an area to sit down, an area to do interviews and things like that. That's kind of my plan or our plan for 2025.
Yeah, I think rather than having us running out to everybody to do interviews, if we've got a bigger area, we put a couch or a couple director chairs in the corner of the booth with the camera set up. then we can just schedule time at our booth to have people come, and that will save us from having to leave the booth all the time. We'll still have to do that, but I think we could reduce that by having kind of a corner set up of a bigger booth just for the live streaming.
Well, and I know that a lot of our booth neighbors enjoyed us having people out in the aisle and kind of spread out everywhere. There's several photos where we were really just, I mean, that people were 20 people there at one time. But if we can kind of eliminate some of that and help with the flow through there, it would be great.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
let's talk about some of our favorite cars.
Oh,
Why don't you give us a few of what you saw that were your favorite?
well, I'll tell you this one right here, the Ryan Hargett's car. I mean, top shelf. Appreciate them and AFCO letting us do the reveal in their booth. That was really cool. This car here is going to be bad to the bone. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's coming out swinging. This is a big tire Coyote twin turbo 70 or 72 Camaro that was built around a nitrous big block back when him and his dad were racing together. So this car has a lot of sentimental value to him, and Ryan doesn't play. This car is one of my favorites. This car, dude, I can't get this car out of my mind. I don't know what it is about this, be the color or something like that. This car was over the top for me. It had like the turbos were offset to the left. That really drew me in first. A lot of times you see that you end up with like a 2JZ or something. This was small block Ford. And I was talking to some of the builders. It's like a $40,000 sequential shift transmission. This car's built for road race, even though it looks like it's on a set of drag radials and some bead locks, which it was, but they did that just to get to the shows. Slam in.
Bipolar performance.
Yeah, it was amazing. Beautiful car. So you've got Beater Bomb and one of the other cars here. That was cool. And did you see the Beater Bomb post about people climbing underneath that car?
I did.
Love that, dude. That was so funny. This car was another one of my top ones, and then but I'll run through my list. So Steve Hafner's G body. Do you have a photo of that in here by chance?
I don't think so.
Okay, that car, the silver, it's silver outside, like a tan brown engine. Wow, man, just really caught my eyes. It was in the Hammer fabrication booth. That was really cool. The green Pro Mod Barracuda there on the right. That was another top car. You don't typically see those. Looks really amazing. That was in the Larry Jeffers booth. And then the Fairlane that Brian Moody is debuting this year. Wow, son, that
Yeah.
car engine built by Ace Racing Engine, Stefan Rossi out there, and then the car put together by Larry Jeffers. It's a car that he had owned for a long time. I mean, it had my heart, man. It was cool. They had welded up. It was a single turbo for a long time, and they had welded up they had welded up the hole in the side. Like even just that shot to me was awesome. So
Yeah.
run through kind of what was your stuff.
Yep. So there was the GTR powered Fox body that was definitely unique. That caught my eye. If you haven't seen that, it's the GTR power plant stuffed into a Fox body. Uh, Dennis Taylor's COE, which we had a picture of in here.
Mm.
That thing, it just sits right.
Did you see the link bars on this thing?
Yeah,
I'm
they're like a
telling you,
mile long.
I'm gonna ask Dennis after the show, but dude, I think they're 8 feet.
Yeah.
Crazy. And at one point, like you can't see it here, but you couldn't slide a piece of paper underneath that tire. That's how well they had shaped that cutout.
Yeah. Yep. Beater Bomb was another one. Obviously, that one's just pretty. It's pretty unique. So it's well known over the internet, and like you said, the pictures of people crawling underneath of it trying to get a sneak peek was definitely pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then the blown lowrider. I don't have a picture of that one.
Mm.
That one was cool. The gold leaf done. The custom motion raceworks shifter with the same gold leaf. I was sad that we didn't watch that leave. I don't know when it left, but I definitely seen a video on his channel when he was leaving. It just looked so cool. Up on three wheels, big top hat
Yeah.
blower sticking out of it. It was definitely cool, and I could go on and on. There was tons of cool cars, but just to throw a couple of them out there that were some of my favorites.
Yeah, and I see you had the note there, the GTR powered Fox body, dude. I had that on my list as well. Like there were a lot of really really cool cars at PRI,
Yeah, this Chevy 2 was another one that was great looking.
and then
Felipe,
the new wrap for Felicia.
yeah.
Son.
This was one of my favorite photos that I took from the weekend.
Yeah, and then when does the well, we'll finish this and then we'll talk about when the photo albums drop.
Yep. So I think that was just about it for the photos that we had in here. Just to show, we wanted to drop a couple of photos. Actually, I did have a photo. There's the GTR Fox body.
Mm,
Like, that's not a swap that you see every day.
right?
Yeah, just in here. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
yep.
Yeah, the lowrider was 10 out of 10. So much talent at the show this year. Yeah, that was super cool. And of course, this thing. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know that I saw it in the show. If I did, I don't remember passing by it. But again, we were running around so much that I don't remember. But this thing leaving the show was super cool. It come out, cammed out like it was barely
Yeah.
running, and then does a big old. I say big old, but it did a burnout, and then diesel smoke up there and melted the light fixture that was under the bridge and everything. It was pretty wicked.
And the way that smoke cloud like hung right there, dude, I can't wait to see some photographer folks with the shots of that. Wow. And the backs were retreads or whatever that were slicks. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty neat. We've got, man, so much content of reels. That's probably your right hand right there in that photo.
No,
Or-
it's not mine.
oh, because you're taking the picture. Duh.
Yeah, actually, I was recording, but it would have been the other way. It was my phone was in my left hand, camera was in my right
Yep.
hand.
Yeah,
So
the life of a content creator.
yeah, so for this photo to turn out as good as it did, one hand shooting while recording with the other, I was pretty happy with.
Yeah, we got to get you a shoe mount for the top of that camera, for the phone, so that everything that your phone sees, your camera gets.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. Yeah,
yep,
that truck was pretty neat. A huge compound turbo setup. Like I think the small compounds on that were like bigger than anything you'd run in a regular like a regular truck diesel. So
yeah. Well, that's the last photo that I've got in there.
yeah, that was man. It was great. 70,000 steps, I think, is what I took during the 4 days we were there. So
Yeah, my feet say that sounds about right.
yeah, it was more than I wanted, and we didn't ride scooters this year because it was so cold, and we tried to ride scooters one morning to meet a sponsor, and we made it 2 blocks before they kicked off because I hadn't updated my thing. But I don't know if I could have rode them much further, man. To be honest.
Yeah, and mine I think was so cold that it didn't want to go. Like I was hitting the lever and the thing just wasn't going, and I was dying trying to kick that thing just to keep up with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's no fun. All right, well, PRI again cannot tell you. You got to go. It's $40 a year to sign up for a PRI membership. Just do it. It helps. I'm sure they help some way in the whole community thing. I don't know. They've been fighting the EPA for 15 years, but um, $40. Come see us, man. We're gonna have a booth next year. I'm almost certain of it. Now, whether it'll be a 10 by 30 or 10 by 50, I don't know yet. We're gonna work through some of that over the next few weeks or next few months. So we'll know more about that coming up. Tell us when these albums are going to drop and how you're going to do it.
Yep, I'll probably drop some after the show. Day zero was already posted. That was the pro mod at Larry Jeffers and Ryan Hargett's car. Day one, there's about 130 photos in there, so I'll break that up a little bit. Day two, I only got about 30 photos, and day three, we've got about 50 photos. So those ones I'll probably drop as individual days. So here over the next couple days, I'll start slowly dropping them.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, again, big shout out to Life Racing for spending time with us in the booth. Appreciate him coming and hanging out, and we look forward to crazy 2025. All right. Well, we're going to play the Howard's Cams community segment, and then we're going to bring in our guests for the night, our second guest for the night, the Grabiak family, the awardees. I don't know what you call them, recipients
There
of
you go.
one of our ambassadors of Drag and Drive for 2024, and they probably should have been getting this for the last 10 years. So play that, and then we'll kick it off.
All right, let's do it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend, Luke B, for your next valve train upgrade.
All right, before we bring them on, I want to talk about some nerdy stuff here. So one of the reasons that I like them so much is they're a blast. They're a ton of fun. But one of the reasons they were awarded this is because the community that they create, the community they bring with them to events. So I started looking back. How many events have these guys done? When did they start? All that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you guys to understand, there has been a Grabiak name on an entry 26 times since they started doing this. Okay. They've done Drag Week. They've had 14 entries in Drag Week since they started. In 2024 alone, there were 8 entries with a Grabiak last name.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome. Sick Week a couple times, Midwest Drags, 10 times at Midwest Drags. Crazy. These folks, they push everybody. They're not scared to get in and get dirty, as you will see throughout the pictures that are in here. I think 92% of the photos that are in here we're going to scroll through are somebody working on an engine at some point during their drag and drive adventures. We lost the camera for them. I don't know what's going on there. I saw them just a second ago.
Yeah, I did too.
I bet it died. I bet the battery died. They've been backstage waiting. See if can we hear you guys?
Yeah,
nope.
Right there.
So,
hold on. There you go.
Now it's a party.
We had to hit the button.
That's awesome. Well, guys, welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys coming on. I'd love for you to kind of just run through from Jay to the other side there and tell us who you are and what you drive.
So obviously most people know me, but Jay Grabiak. I drive the 1955 Chevy. We named it the Gray Ghost years ago, about 19 years ago to be exact. And that's what I generally use. And then I have that 67 Nova that most everybody knows that I won. It was a giveaway car for the Midwest Drag. So I use both of those cars for my drag and drive usage.
And then Miss Tanya.
Okay, I'm just mom, but yes, Tanya Grabiak. I have an 88 Firebird. I have not done any of these events myself because I'm mom. I'm usually taking care of everything else,
Yeah.
Kind of supporting everything they do. But I'm still passenger and get to help out and work on the cars and keep everything going.
Oh yeah, there's some photos in here of you wrenching on stuff as well.
Oh yeah, I help.
I'm Riley. I have a 1937 Chevy Coupe, green. I've run multiple drag and drives now, from Midwest Drags to Drag Week, and then I've also helped at Sick Week, and I also help co-pilot with both the other two also. So.
And I'm Tim Grabiak. I have a 1968 Camaro. I do all the events just with them and stuff. Kind of new to it, so I only have 2 events in my car, but hopefully a lot more to come.
Oh yeah, for sure. So one of the first pictures that Jay sent was this one right here, and you can see just how young you kids are. Tell us what year this is.
That picture there is, I know that one real well. That, I believe, was 21 before the award ceremony. That was right after I wrecked my car. That shows you how happy I still was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were young. They look young. They get their good looks and their youngness from their mother, and I get all the age, and the stress. But in Timmy's defense, I'm going to go back to that real quick. This isn't only his second event. He's, I think it was in 17 or 7. She came with me in 17.
So it would be
18, we had to put him in the back of the 55, sitting down on the aluminum panels in a blanket, and just tell him to keep his head low the whole week so no one really bitched about him being in the car. Obviously, he had a wristband. He was a legal passenger, but the safety factor, maybe I shouldn't talk about on the air. Some of the people were laughing,
We just checked on him.
We just checked on him. They were making sure the exhaust fumes didn't get to him.
Yeah, I think you had sent over a photo, and I don't think I put it in here, but it's him. It's him through the bars, and he's back there like just asleep.
Well, that's a general photo. The people that follow us on our Facebook or social media, Riley and I will post pictures. Tim goes anywhere; it could be the loudest car in the world, and he's still sleeping. And we get worried about him just driving his own car if he's going to fall asleep. We have to keep checking on him and stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same kind of passenger. Anytime I get still for any length of time at all, I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely how he rolls. So we don't like to make him a driver a lot. Our lives depend on being him being awake if he was a driver. So
that's awesome. Well, tell us when all this started.
So all of this started for me. My first event was in 15, but as everybody that follows along with the drag and drive, the OGs or whatever you want to call them, drag and drive's been around forever, since the inception of it. 2007, as most people know, was I was friends with Steve Roth over the years. In 2007, him and Denny Terzic won for going the first 7-second average for that. Steve only lived over the hill from here, so he was like a local icon and stuff. And then you follow, social media wasn't what it was. So here we are today with the social media and the following. Back then you had to know things or catch a glimpse of it in a magazine or someone say, hey, listen, they'll be coming through here. Well, that happened in 2010. Drag Week came through and came to Pittsburgh Raceway Park, and which is now Keystone Raceway. So me, my buddy Eric, and another friend of mine, Mike, they do the drag and drives with me, and the part of the crew that we run with, they have been bitten and always loved this stuff. We went and watched the racing, and that was actually the first event for my 55 because I drove it there. But while we were there, we ran into my buddy Dan Chisholm, the Chisholm and Stasiak car that have won multiple B-Gas classes, or races, I should say, over the years. So met him, and he's like, oh, you guys need to do this. And I said, yeah, but it's for fast cars. I always thought it was for fast stuff. He's like, oh, they got all these different classes. You got to do it. So from then on, it was me and Eric and Buck's thing, like, hey, listen, we got to get something together and just go do this and enjoy this. So 15 was my first year. 13 and 14, I wanted to come, but I had family weddings to be involved with and to go to. And then 15 was the year that I had started. And with my brother in one of those pictures, we had endured the last minute thrash, getting the car on the road, and came away with second place. I don't think he doesn't return my calls, and he never comes with me anymore. So
he said, no more of that, please.
Yeah, he's probably watching now going, oh, I don't want to ever do that again, but I'll get him back in the car. He's been he's my ride or die guy, you know what I mean? So he gets first option to not be in that passenger seat. So 15 was it, and from there on out, it was going to be a one and done, but it's like, man, if I do this again, I can go a little faster. Maybe I can do this. I had such a blast. I met these people, and it's such a blur. And then every year you get a little bit more inept to what's going on and meeting people and talking and like, that ain't no big deal. We're a couple 100 miles today, a couple 100 tomorrow, and as everybody knows that's watching this, it just happens. And then you're stuck, you're bitten, and it's a great form of racing and a great way to meet people, So.
Yeah, it becomes a reunion anymore, especially
it
for
really
the guys
is.
that have done it as long as you guys,
like you said, it's a reunion when you get there.
It's almost like another family.
Yeah, it truly is, and the social media part of it, to be able to communicate with the people that live cross country, you get some bantering and some bullshit from each other, and then you get there and it's a hug and like, hey man, how you been? Oh, I saw the kids are growing. They're this, and hey, I saw you did this to your car, to them, and it's just like you haven't missed a beat. It's like you live together, around each other at all times. So it's a truly great way to meet people through these events, and everybody's so friendly. I think I've probably said it a million times. People have heard me say it a million times. You go to a local racetrack, everybody's cutthroat and wanting to not tell you a secret, or bracket racing. It's kind of cliquey a little bit. But you come to these events, people aren't worried about the racing. Everybody's got their own agenda. They want to, you got your own guy that you're trying to manipulate out of the thing or get your best ET, and so the next thing you know, they're worried about their thing. But if you need something, they're helping you. They're there for you. They're still high-fiving you, hoping to see you do good, and they want to see you at the hotel with them. So,
and I think that's one of the best things about this for guys that, listen, we're all busy. We all got kids. Time is away from us, right? So when you're out there and you have that, now you have like a group of 300 other like-minded individuals that are willing to pull over anytime, anywhere, and give you anything that they've got, so you can make it to that next track, so you can keep moving along with the herd.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where that thumbs up, the thumbs down comes into play. People, you're driving along and everybody wants to stop, and if you don't put that thumbs up, chances are you're getting 10 people, stopping, whether you want it or not. Like, no, go. Are you sure? And there's a whole line of traffic behind them. So that's a very key part of everybody wanting to help, and if they got something, whether it's a quart of oil or a whatever, or a bottle of water, they're giving it to you, keep you moving. Yeah. So it truly is. If once you do it once, and everybody that's done it once, unless you had a really, really bad experience at it, you're coming back. If you didn't make it, you're going to fix your car and make it better, and you're going to come back the following year thinking exactly what you need to do to get through the week.
Yeah. One thing that's fun for me on the stat side is to see those guys that just did one event 8 years ago and have never been back. I'm like, dude, how does that happen?
Yeah, I know a guy. Love the guy. I mean, we're best friends, and he did it, and he broke, and then he said, "I'm coming back. I'm gonna do it again." And he broke, and he says, "I'm done," until he really gets a car that he feels comfortable in. And every year he's like, "I'm coming back with you. I'm coming back with you." So we'll see. Sometimes it's deterring. But another time it is what it is. You've got the week off work, shit happens, and you just move forward. You trip away, and hopefully you're not the furthest point away from your truck and trailer at that point.
Right. And if you are, you're getting a ride. Well, real quick, Isabella says Jay interviews like a champ, since he's usually telling us hotel horror stories while half drunk by the fire. So this is a fitting photo here. You get interviewed by Mike Finnegan.
Yeah, so that was while we were there. But real quick, back to Bella, her and her family, her and her dad and her sister, great people. Her mother, I don't know, she's probably watching, but they want to do these in the worst way. So my way to get the family to do it is, I get Isabella, I get her all revved up. She's a young bracket racer. The whole family's bracket racers from up at our track and other local tracks. Great family, great racers. I mean, and they want to nibble on this, they want to nibble, and they're building a car, and then they don't want to go. So she's the age where she can drive. So I'm just trying to lure her in, If I get her, then the mom and dad and the other sister have to go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
That's
sorry
awesome.
about that. If I got sidetracked, I just had to give her a little shout out. She's great.
Jay, sidetrack never.
Yeah. So, but yeah, with the Finnegan thing, that was a great thing that happened with putting the car back together for 21 to find out. Get an email about that, like, hey, do you want to be involved in videoing? And I'm like, who is sending me this video, or this email? And then I'm going through, I'm like, well, they know everything about Drag Week. They know the sign up. They know this, they know that. And here it was Chris Reed, their producer for that.
Wow.
And great people, great guy. It was an opportunity that was really cool to be a part of. And through my years, I've had a lot of great opportunities through the people I've met and been around, Obviously, most people know and still jack me around Street Outlaws, now the Finnegan thing, and now your podcast and being an ambassador, the family being an ambassador. So Kevin Jackson and the rest of them, they just don't leave me alone. So,
It's tough, man. Next time I'm gonna need you to sign something on my chest.
Well, so what I did is I started signing so much stuff anymore, Mike, is I've been working on my prison tattoos. And so far with the ink that I'm using, I've only given 2 people infections. So I'm pretty sure by the time I get to you, it's going to be permanent and you'll be all right.
Perfect.
Question here says, love the car show sign and trophy on top of the Willys. Where'd you win that one?
Well, that's obviously was that Little Deuce Coupe 79. That's Kevin Jackson. So there's a long story with all the car show stuff. I don't know if I should want to chew up all your time, but as everybody knows, and this started from Ross and Kevin Dunn and the group of us. So as you pull into a gas station, you're on these events, you're on the road, you pull into a gas station, the first thing people ask you, is there a car show somewhere? Where's the car show? So we're going to hell for this, but we're like, yeah, actually there is. You know where the Dollar General's at? They're like, yeah. Well, you want to make a right at the Dollar General down the road because there's always a Dollar General. And you're going to go down to the church, and there's a church, you make a left, and you're going to go back in there, and there's a park. Yeah, I know where it's at. They're having a car show today, and there's free hot dogs, and right now we're on the poker run of part of it, and then we're going to be there in about an hour. And you wouldn't believe it. People are like, we'll see you there. And we're just like, oh, my, So it's been going on for years now. We actually have other drag weekers that will be, or any event, drag weekers or drag and drive guys, as you'd say, is they'll be pumping gas and they look over like, what are they telling those people? And they're laughing, So, but the car show signs were for 66. Kevin had a little thing at his house. We didn't make it there on time, but he made trophies for everybody because Kevin says everybody, I'm always a trophy winner and we're going to car shows. And so it's just an inside group joke that we all, endure or hold close to our hearts. We all try to outdo each other with the better story. I mean,
right. He was asking, how many car show trophies do you actually have?
Well, you know what? I was going to put them all up there, but it's a fiberglass car and I don't want to structurally damage it. I'll send him pictures later.
Nice.
Well, why don't you kind of run through the fleet of cars that you currently have?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. Well, Tanya's here, so I could have cut out a couple of them.
There's some she might not know about yet.
Yeah. We have a multitude. I've been collecting cars, as everybody, but I've had most of my cars since I was in my mid to late 20s, and I'm going to be going on 52. So, I mean, the multitude, the cars that we have, the 31 Ford, we got the 33 Willys, which is going to be a project for us. We have the 39 Chevy, the 37 Chevy, the 47 Ford, the 51 Chevy, the 66 Chevelle, the 55 Chevy. What else am I missing? The 88 Firebird, that's a Formula low mileage car that's now Mom's car. And I'm trying to think, what else do we got? Timmy's 68 Camaro. And just a bunch of stuff. And bikes. We're into motorcycles, Harleys, sports endurance bikes. And a lot of those cars that were project cars, this hobby or addiction, whatever you'd like to call it, doesn't afford you to have a lot of them around. So most of them are expendable and they're sold. Most of that stuff. So what we have now is the fleet of cars that for right now that the kids
True drivers.
Yeah, the true drivers, and we'll be doing something with.
They're all family cars.
They're all family cars. Yeah, they all have a story behind them. And we've had them for a long time, and there's, it's like she said, family cars. So, except for the 31 Ford, the Model A Coupe. So that's my personal one, and Timmy said that he'll get it when I die. So, and that can be arranged. So,
Oops.
yeah. So, but the 66 is what we took on Route 6, or the 66 Chevelle is what we took on Route 66. It's a great driver, big block car. We loaded up in it, went 4,184 miles cross country, didn't kill each other or anybody around us. And so it was, those, you have a car. I hate to say you got a car for everything. We got our drivers, we got race cars, and then we got the cross country car, I guess you could say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I know it sounds like it's a lot, but I don't have a ton of money tied up in all of them. If you ever see them, they're all a little rough around the edges, but I like my stuff that way.
I say,
I
I don't
forgot,
know.
and I totally forgot about the Nova, the '67 Nova, the free car. Jeez.
Right, hang on. Yeah, let me get to this shot here. So tell us the backstory on that.
So, anyways, well, the '67 Nova was the Midwest Drags. 2000 would have been the 2020 giveaway car, but it was canceled. So in 21, they had the event, and there we were. I wasn't even there for the car, honestly. You know, there was people there, multiple entries. You know, Tina and Dave Pierce said that car was theirs. Still to this day, they tell me that car is theirs, and he tells me to take care of it. And he reminded me of PRI also take good care of his car. But I was there just because it was in my backyard. We got a group of guys, local guys from us, and you know, we all did it. And then here at the end, it was like, I think 1 in 60 chance or something like that to win it. And I still didn't think I was gonna, you know, I wasn't there for that. I was happy to finish the week, to place with my car. As a matter of fact, most of the guys, all the Pittsburgh guys, everybody placed. We left there with a great showing. I think we took most of the trophies with us. Yeah, it was a great, and we left with the car. So truly, like, I didn't win it. We all won the car. You know what I mean? It was a great experience, and the car has given me some opportunities and a lot of heartache. You know, just learning curve and some things. But the car was great, and it's been asked if I'd sell it a couple times by some people, and that's a family car with a great story. It'd never be, you know, so.
Certainly cool and super clean. Love that car. Love to watch it. And dude, it runs. I mean, the last couple of times I've seen you 10-0s consistently.
Yeah, so like I redid the motor in it and did a couple things just to make it do the 10-0, and that's what I'm really happy with that car at. Like, I got proficient, surrounded by a great group of guys that are really good tuners, taught me the way. I'm a hammer screwdriver guy, and you know. And that was the biggest joke with it. Like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, I don't know. I'll get online. I'm going to watch some things. And they told me, you know, watch Devin Vandenhoef stuff, watch Joe Simpson stuff. And I did. And then they brought me up, my buddy Jake, put it on the dyno, gave me a crash course. We re-dynoed the car, you know, changed the tune just to make sure it was a little more streetable, and did some things. And then just wanted it to be a 10-0 car, just freshened the motor up, did change cam. And actually it was cool. Once we got Riley's car situated, I forget what year it was, 23 we did was green. And then finally, like, okay, you guys are good. It's my turn to play. Like, and then started just dialing the car in, going 10-0s, 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 and just, you know, manipulating the Holly in the car and making it really work. So I love it for that. And then I go to sick week and I run a really modest nitrous tune in it and go like 940s, 934, I think was the fastest. I have an 899.99 goal for the car the way it sits. You know? And then that's it. I don't want to race it any faster. It's a fun car. It's a great index racer. I love it. I like index racing, you know. So.
Well, especially when you can get one that goes that quick, and sounds great, looks great, all that kind of stuff. And super cool story.
Yeah, thank you. It is a great story. I'm blessed to have all the opportunities that I've had. You know, truly am. You know, as much of an idiot as I can be. Everybody around me knows I'm still happy to be, you know, to be blessed with the stuff that we do, you know, so, and my family, obviously. So want to be involved in it. Sometimes it's a little bit of a headache, but it all works out in the end, you know, so.
So how do you decide what car or cars you are bringing to an event?
Well, on that sense, they're cars that you see, the 37 and the 67 or 68, that's their drag and drive cars. We built those cars, you know, making sure fuel lines are moved. Everything's easily accessible. The stuff that you got to buy, you know, like any drag and drive is going to be bought at Advanced Auto Parts, or, you know, it can be fixable readily easy. So if you do get stranded, it's a quick fix. You know, so those are their drag and drive cars. And then the other cars they've acquired from me, they just taken their joyrider cars more or less around town. And while we were talking about cars, I forgot to talk about my tow truck. People have seen the tow truck. I can say something. Yeah, the tow truck is probably one of our favorite. Yeah. So a badass tow truck, but it's just a beater that I had to pry out of a buddy of mine's hands. But that's kind of like what we all had our dedicated cars. The 55 was always my go-to car and always will be until the 33's done. But they're cars that they can grow around and make their piece of history, I guess you say, or their I don't know, their future in the racing. They can start with these cars and either make them faster or move on to something else. As most people know, is once you get so fast with the cars and you got so much money into it, sometimes it is actually cheaper to just rebuild another car than it is to keep tearing a car apart to update rear ends and transmissions and other engines, because the stuff that you put in it really has no value to people. You know, it's beat up, and what do you get for a motor? You just put a whole ton of money in. So it's better, in my opinion, we have the skill set, the knowledge, and you know, to be able to just start a fresh project, you know.
Well, and I think that's some of the fun as well. You know, you end up with a whole new way to build a new car.
It is. You learn a lot.
You learned a lot, yeah, and then you get to use that on
learn,
the new one.
This is what I want to do to this one. This is how I want to do it. This is where I want to move this bar or whatever. You know, you learn a lot, and you know, fortunate for me to be around a lot of good guys that do chassis and stuff, and a lot of knowledge, and my own personal knowledge. I get to pass that on to them. So now they're like my shop hands. I could just kind of sit back a little bit. They're like, hey, we moved that to here. We're going to weld this bracket here. And, you know, Timmy's really proficient with the TIG. So it's like, hey, here's my idea. Run with it. You know, I'm going to go
and he's probably more limber than you are as well.
Well, yes, he definitely is. Even with Jeff Oppenheim has taught him some stuff. And now Jeff lets him just like kind of get into some bad spots. You know, if there's someone's going to get hurt, we might as well let it be him. So,
yeah, 100%.
So,
well,
yeah.
One of the folks you wanted to give a shout out to is definitely Jeff. I have a shot here that you sent me. Hold on, I'm almost there. I promise. So tell us. I mean, obviously you guys are close because you live close. Jeff's he's an OG as well.
Yes, Jeff definitely is an OG. You know, great guys. Everybody knows. You know, and I don't need to beat his own drum, but he was very instrumental in both the kids' cars when they wanted to pick up the pace and go faster. You know. He's like, so what are you going to do? So we're going to put a roll bar in Riley's or a roll cage in her car to make sure it's straight, because her car doesn't weigh much. He's like, I'm bringing my bender. I'll be up, you know. And he's like, I got some material in around. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll get this. And then with Timmy, you know, and then he comes up and you know, he's like, here's what you want to do. He's teaching us, so he doesn't have to be bothered with it. He's just come get my bender, you know. So here's my tools. Tell me how it goes. And you know, he comes up to help Timmy and taught him a bunch of stuff and very instrumental in this. You know, I'm not trying to beat his drum, like I say. He knows it after we tell him. And so he was very instrumental in the last 2 years of getting the kids to be in a faster place with saving us money to be able to do 3 cars at these events. You know, to send a car off to a chassis shop to get a cage in is a lot of money, you know. Not a lot, but you know what I'm saying. It's still something out of pocket. So we learned a skill, and we did it for the materials and tacos and pizza and stuff.
Lots of food.
Yeah, lots of food. Jeff's an eater, if you don't know that.
I knew I liked him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's a shout out to Jeffy. So.
Yeah, he gave me a tour around Pittsburgh, and we stopped once for food and once for ice cream, and we were only together for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like, we'll be in the middle of something. He's like, so where we eating? And so up here where we're at, we don't, down in Pittsburgh, you know, there's all those, I don't know, like taco places and one-off food places, and then he comes up here at Greensburg, and it's all corporate stuff, and the people that do little restaurants, they're closed on the weekends. You know, they're it's 12 o'clock, and he's going through his phone. He's like, you're not shitting. There's nothing to eat up here. And I'm like, no, I told you. It's like, it's the tacos or Taco Bell or this chain Mexican place over the hill, or, you know, so he doesn't get much here. You know, he's to settle for pizza from down the street or whatever. So when people do go visit him, they love, Jeff takes you on a tour of, you know, everything. Everything. You know, people have just been overwhelmed and grateful to get that Pittsburgh tour from Jeff. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know you hit on this a little bit earlier, but who do you include in your drag and drive crew at the events?
Really, yeah. I mean, just Kevin Jackson, Kevin Dunn, Eric Lutner, Michael and Nick Costello, basically whoever wants to kind of join up. There's a few of us, you don't want the party to be too big. And the guys that we run with now, we go to sleep. We know we get up in the morning. We all have the same routine. One person's getting gas, the other one's getting snacks, the other one's on the, we travel well together. So, those are typically the go-tos that we have in our group. And every event's a little different because sometimes they can't make it or they make it. And the other one, Eric and Buck, can't make it, or so it bounces around. And we've had people jump in line with us and want to travel with us. And sometimes it's like I've gotten to the point I'm like, listen, if we get split, you better be have some kind of way to go because we've done it for years. You start and stop, and you're adding hours to your day doing that. So it's generally just who travels the best is who all of us do. I don't pick and choose. It's just if you fit in,
wants to join us.
if you fit in, let's roll. If it's not for you, a lot of people want to stop and have a lunch, like a lunch. And I'm like, yeah, we want to get to the hotel. We'll eat dinner. We eat crackers and vitamin waters or just regular water.
Keep the hunger.
Yeah, keep the hunger. You stay awake. Makes you appreciate the end. So
get you ready for that beer.
Yeah, get you ready for the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, one of the other things we wanted to do was give 3 tips for new people that would be coming into or are coming into drag and drives.
3 tips. Just bite the bullet and do it. Don't think about it. Like don't I gotta do this, gotta do that. Yeah, a little bit of that, but get yourself there. Don't. My thing is don't look to try to be the fastest in your class. If you've never done it, just look to complete it. Find where you fit. I always tell people you might not be at the top of the class, you might not be at the bottom of the class, but if you're comfortable enough, play a game with who's around you in ET wise. See if you can beat that guy out by a little bit. Don't chase the top guys or whatever for maybe your first couple of years or whatever till you're comfortable with it. Just be you and make it through the week. You'll have a better time at it. My other thing is when you're building your car or you buy a car, look it over. Know your vehicle. Know what it takes to do it. If it takes a specialty tool, pack it because you're not getting it somewhere else. And if it takes a specialty part, pack it. We had a guy, I don't want to say his name because he'll be all over there, but I got an alternator and it was an alternator that he bought off some Chinese company or something and we couldn't find a match for it. So, so there we were stuck for 6 hours in the scorching sun because he didn't want to pack an extra alternator. He didn't think the new one he had would go bad. So my thing is, make sure your car is right. Look it over. Make sure most of the parts can be bought in an auto parts store. That if someone's willing to run for you, if you can't make it there, like you get outside help. Like everybody knows, you get another drag week or drag and drive guy. What can they pick up for you or drive you to get? What's that? That's like 2 tips. And enjoy yourself. You're there for a week. No matter what happens, it's not life or death. You're not going to die. You're just going to have to. Yeah, I see that. The bucket list, don't run mechanical injection. Ever since the day I met that guy, he ain't right. You should probably block him off of this. But
he's been a guest before, man. We love those guys.
They are. Yeah, I met him the first year and I'm like, that's mechanical injection and it's popping and banging and I'm like, oh, you're gonna make it. He made it, and they're great people. But yeah, just make sure you go AAA and enjoy yourself. You're there for the whole week. No matter what, you're gonna get to the end resort, the end place. It's just gonna maybe take you a little longer. So, that's my takeaway from it. Do you guys have anything to say? I feel like I'm hogging the screen. I love to talk.
I think my only tip would be on the enjoying part. I see so many people that just go to the hotel or don't make friends in a sense. Come out and talk to us. We want to talk to people. I feel like all the racers really look forward to at the end of the night, cracking a beer, eating some pizza in the parking lot, talking about your day, talk about what's going on at the track. Hey, did you see this? I missed this. Because I feel like you're always on the go, so you do miss so much. Once you're on the road, you kind of miss that stuff that happened at the track when you weren't there, or even when you're getting ready and stuff. now that I've got to do the racing side and kind of like just co-pilot or like spectator side, because I know for Sick Week, the one year me and her just kind of did our own thing and we're part of the ward. And it was like being on a mini vacation. I like didn't know what to do with myself. I got to watch racing all day. I got to hang out. I met like so many new friends, you know. And I just think that part sometimes like you don't get to do. So just enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, I think the parking lot beers is one of the biggest things that you can really, I mean, just take that time. Don't go into the hotel. There's been so many times, Eric and I talk about this all the time. I'll pull up somewhere and there's nobody in the parking lot. I'm like, y'all, it's 11 o'clock at night. What is happening? Everybody's in and asleep. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Stasiak pizza and beer on the hood of the. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Kenny is the OG B gas driver in the Chisholm Stasiak car, but we've learned he's taught us his ways. He brings two different rags. We have the white rag and we've got the red rag. The red rag's for working. The white rag's for eating. That's your clean rag. You know, that's your. So yeah, we've had some great experiences. A lot of. There's just so many times, you know, stories and stuff. But would you like to say what's your takeaway for advice?
Well, if you haven't touched a bolt on your car, I would like take it out and put it back in just to say that you've touched it and you know how it comes out, and make your car accessible from like if you have a jack, if you don't have a jack, any scenario throw in your head whenever you're building your car or making changes or whatever, because found if you don't, it's going to bite you in the butt. So, and it definitely
100%.
has a couple times for me. So,
Yeah, and I think, it's funny, you see we're getting to the point where we're seeing some real exotic combinations and things that are fit in cars that are going to be really, really tight, like Jess Havlick's Opal, and you start seeing big blocks and things like that. Like, man, just roadside repairs for that car, no thanks. I don't want to do that.
That real quick on that, Jess and Havlicks did an awesome job building that car, but the Nova, it's definitely not a roadside repair car. That's a tow truck to a beam, to a lift. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can fix, but if it's underneath, the header's got to come. It's a lift. It's got to be up in the air.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, Frank's saying, Riley, don't let your mother do the directions.
Oh no, she's terrible at directions. It's not good.
That's not true.
Actually, she's learned a lot. She's gotten way better. But
in the beginning,
typically before we leave, I give her my plan route and I have everything mapped out and I show her how to use it all, and then she goes okay, and then she got it. But yeah,
I've gotten better.
Directions in the family is definitely my forte. I feel but normally I'm the one with all the answers. So I'm
super fast.
Yeah, I'm a planner for that. So like I love to sit before I leave and I'll map out everywhere that I need to go, and then I also like to know where I am going to get myself into like parking situations.
That wasn't true on her first one, though.
No, but I've learned, because my first one was terrifying.
For both of us. I handed her hood pins. She didn't put them in. I'm driving down the road. The hood goes, flies. I'm like, what'd you do with those pins? She goes, I set them down. I said, why'd you put them in? She goes, you didn't say put them in. I'm like, oh, that's what you do with hood pins.
She said, he goes, Ryan just would have known. I said, well, I'm not Ryan. I didn't know.
We're leaving Cordova. My hood's going, it's flapping. I'm like, oh, no. Then the directions were a little messy. But she reeled it back in. The next day, spot on,
Yeah, sometimes you have to have that traumatic experience to do better.
Yeah, Timmy had his traumatic.
Yeah.
So he thought he could do the directions in 21, and
he said he could do them better than me.
So we let him do it. And as you can see, he sleeps through all of them. So I said, well, pay attention to what your sister's doing, because you want to do this tomorrow. Oh yeah, well, we let him go one extra day because he didn't pay attention, and then he got us sidetracked because the directions say make a left at a fork in the road, and I said, what? He's like, I think we made a wrong turn. I'm like, what do you mean you think? We went to the right. And he's like, well, I think that's where we should have made a left, but there was no fork. I'm like, what do you mean fork? And he's like, well, I don't know, it's Dragon. I thought maybe there was like a fork, like we could take a picture with it. I'm like, no, a fork in the road, Tim, it's good.
Hey, you never know. It is Hot Rod Drag Week. You expect anything.
So now the joke is you just think there's a big fork, in the road. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
That's gonna happen on Drag Week now. I'm gonna put a fork on the side of the road. And you guys will be passing me like, that son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, there's with any event, there's so many great stories, and as you sit down and you talk about them, it's like, whew, it's wow, we made it through it, but there are some great stories, 15, my gas tank broke a weld, and that's where I got to meet Mark Cicino and Greg Hurlbut and all them guys, like Jake Banner and Russo, like that group, the New Jersey, Long Island group or whatever. And man, my gas dripping everywhere, and ran a lady off the road, and she came back to the hotel telling me she's a great Christian lady, and they were telling me I should have told her that I was on Christian Mingles and this and that. But long story short, she called her husband, and she's all nervous. I told my husband this race car ran me off the road. He goes, leave him alone. I just seen them. They're doing drag week. Those guys are busy. They're not worried about you. And I put her like up over a curb and up in Cordova. So
nice.
Yeah, just simple stories. But then the gas tank was leaking everywhere, and it's crazy. But just the stories and
it's always an adventure.
It's an adventure.
Always.
I've said that forever. It's definitely
right. Well,
it is what you make of it too. If you go in open-minded and just laugh at everything, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like Riley said earlier, you're on vacation. Like, just enjoy the time. Well, I want to ask you, what do you think of the growth that the community has seen since you guys started this? I mean, like, really, like you came in 2015. You'd say you had 10 years of events before that. Now you're like in this second decade of drag and drive events. What do you think of this growth that we've seen?
I think it's incredible. I just think that it's keeps going on. I mean, it's everybody's getting involved in it. It's become a new platform for a lot of the social media people. But it's just it's crazy, the growth of it. You had said, I was listening earlier while you're talking like PRIs. I was so excited just to go see the new cars. Ryan's car and all of those cars. Even Bailey's car this year, putting the wrap on it and the houndstooth interior and shit. It was just neat to see the amount of drag and drive vehicles there versus some. I mean, there's plenty of room for everything, but it was just, that's my forte. It's just neat to see all that. The unveilings of these cars, they're going to come and run, low sixes, high fives. They want to run. Goldstone's car is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I wouldn't even want to race that car. I walked around that car for probably an hour, just like, you can't find a flaw in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gorgeous.
Well, I think it's also hard too, because now there's so much to choose from. Like, every time they announce a new one, we're like, ooh, that sounds fun. And then we kind of like sit and talk about it, and we're like, oh, well, we're doing this. We want to do this year. And it just, I don't know. We keep saying that we're going to slow down a little bit, but we're not.
No.
It just keeps, the list keeps getting bigger. And it's, I don't know.
Well, the idea between the slowing down was really, I mean, quite honestly, is like, they're making this their lives. I wanted them to work on relationships with their girlfriends and boyfriends. They went and found their happy couples that love this.
And they want to keep going.
And they want to keep going. So I'm like, shit. Well, I guess we're back into this full tilt. So I couldn't ask for them both to have boyfriend girlfriend partners that absolutely adore this. They were up here helping work on the 55. Can we come up and help? And they're learning stuff, and they're teaching them how to weld and grind, and so we got like our own little sweatshop going on up here.
They've helped us with 2 cars now.
Yeah, 2 of the cars. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's really cool as far as like building family time, but then also the trips that you guys are going to take as a group. Like, I mean, let's be honest, like drag and drives are hard. Yeah. Doing this is hard. Building cars is hard. Going through all of that, the fights, the I hate to say, the quick remarks like that, just the jabs that you get in this kind of situation. Like that's good for people to get that stuff out of their body, and drag and drive does that for you.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, you get to wits ends at some points, and sometimes just bite your tongue and roll with it because tomorrow's not going to be. You know, it's a different day, and you got to move forward. You know.
Yeah,
So,
you're 600 miles from home with somebody. You better get comfortable.
yeah, you better be really comfortable. You know.
And I think we've all, like, there's been times where we all walked away from each other and just take a deep breath and then regroup because, I mean, I know for a fact that we've all gotten irritated, you know, with something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't walk away. The size of me, I get winded, and I just make them leave me. I'm like, leave. Dad's not walking. So.
But it can be definitely stressful because we've got, you know, we have to tow, sometimes you're towing 3 cars or, you know, just even packing, getting ready. And we've pulled off a lot of very late, last minute things where we're trying to pack and we plan on leaving at just, for example, 8 p.m. and it turns into we pull out at midnight. So those kind of things. And it can be stressful, but it all pays off in the end.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, and we do that, and it's not really by choice. We're generally busy doing other things. We're involved in other people's projects or helping other people, or we have businesses and stuff. Yeah, so like it's we work a lot behind the scenes. You know, you don't see that on Facebook. You see like, oh wow, they're away again, or wow, they're building another car. Well, yeah, that picture was taken at 3 a.m. too. You know, because we have stuff going on. And you know,
hang on, you're letting the secrets out of social media. We can't be letting people. It's all roses and rainbows over here, friend.
Yeah, from what you guys see, and I won't complain about it. I mean, I do. I love to complain, so that's my new next hobby because I'm getting older. Is complaining, and but I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. The people around me love it, and that's another thing with the guys we run with and the couples, people you meet. We're all just like, blah, blah. We can just, you know, everybody knows how everybody is. And no one gets mad at anybody, but you just pick at each other just to get the rows out of them, you know, and we move on and you laugh and, you know, we go from there, you know.
That's awesome. Well, let's wind down real quick. Listen, what I want to do is bring a microphone set up and just record some stories and fun stuff on the hood of the car while we're drinking beer and eating pizza at one of the events next year. That's kind of my goal with you guys. I'm going to do that a lot more this year, I promise. But I want to talk about the championship, the 10-0 plus champion points here. You missed it by 1 point. Being competitive with both cars running 10-0s, do you think you'll maybe chase that next year? Do you know, a class win really probably would have put you there, to be honest.
Timmy or Riley or both?
You.
Oh, yeah. Me? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I might bring a car back out to do some 10-0 stuff next year. Quite honestly, you know, I didn't really. I mean, I'm not saying like I gave a win up or anything, but all those other guys worked so hard at it. I was just happy to be there, and I might chase it a little bit this year. You know, it's fun, but. Yeah, I didn't know I was that close to doing anything. You know, I'll be completely honest. Like I don't look at that kind of stuff. I'm honored to get an award or whatever. But I'm truly grateful and happy to see somebody else get an award or watch my kids win. And you know, people say, that's bullshit. It truly is. If you know me, that's the way I am. You know, I love it. I could have given you the picture from the year that I won the 10-0 class at Midwest Drags. Those guys, we battled. I mean, I think I put 18 laps on my car that day, and I just beat the shit out of it. Just trying, because I didn't know. I'm no mathematician, you know. I'm not figuring out every little. I need to do this. I just wanted to have that 10-0-0 again, not that 10-0-0-2 or 10-0. Like I wanted to be like. I think there was like a thousandth that split the differences or something like that. Yeah, but you know, with that was I rounded the corner to turn my time slip in, and the 2 guys were just standing there. And they're like, they had beer, and they're like, well, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's see where we're at. And you know, and that was the year that I decided to be a little competitive with it. And this year, I didn't really try to be competitive with it because I was just happy to have them have their cars done. My car was done and keep it in one piece. But yeah, maybe next year I might entertain that. I really don't want to run the 55 too much more in the drag and drive events. I've got a different goal. I want to come back to the gas or A class, and I want my jacket at drag week with that, I want a 850 that car all week long. I want to have a low average in that class and walk away. That's been my goal for the last couple of years. Just been sidetracked. So so the 10-0 game for some of the events might be a thing, and we'll see what happens as far as getting this one done for drag week.
Well, you know we love 850 stuff.
Yeah,
I know it may not be street race small block power adder, but we do love cars that run to 850.
You know, in my class, the Gasser 8 class, that's, Finnegan is in there and Wayne Baker. There's other guys out there probably, licking their chops that are different parts of the country, that are waiting to get in there. And that's where that class has really gone. If you're not running eights, mid eights to high eights, that's where you got to be if you want to win that class.
Yeah.
That's my personal goal. And so the 55, I don't know if I really want to run it too much more. I'm not over the car. I love the car. I have different goals. And to come back and play some of the 10-0 index stuff is what I'd probably see me doing next year. So to answer your question, the more I'm talking about it, yes, that's probably what I'll be doing.
Well, I'll tell you this much. We're going to talk about it a lot more. y'all, listen, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out. This won't be the last time that you guys are on here. There's so many stories. We didn't really get into anything. Like we didn't roll through pictures because I knew it would put us over and all that stuff. So I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for being welcoming to us, to Eric and I, and to the entire community. We appreciate you guys a lot.
Thank you guys for everything. Thank the entire community. I mean, it's a great place to be. If you're not in this community, then I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
you're missing out for dang sure.
You're missing out for sure. Yeah, it's definitely there's a lot of good people. So, and a lot of knowledgeable people, so.
Yep. Well, hey, stay with us. Don't leave yet, but we're going to put you backstage and end the show real quick.
All right.
Man, listen, can we talk to those folks for another 3 hours?
I'm sure we could. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely want to do that. I'm going to talk to them for a few minutes and then we'll have them on later. I really want to dive into some of the stories they have, because this was really like top level, high level. How did you get started? What are some fun stories and all that kind of stuff with them. So again, congratulations to them. Thanks to Matt Lang for being on tonight and telling the story. And we're talking about Back to the Streets. And I also just got a message from one of the very fast cars asking if we would do an exclusive interview coming up in the next few days with some breaking news for Drag and Drive stuff. And of course I said yes. So we're going to do that. I'll have more details on that as we come. But again, guys, next week, the last episode of the show for the year, we're going to be next Friday night. This is going to be crazy, episode 83. We're going to open it up to the floor. So maybe we'll have the Grabiaks back on then and let them tell some stories. We'll come up with 2 or 3 different topics to cover at that time. I'm trying to get back to the photo here. Do we have 70-something photos on this?
Episode 93, not 83.
Oh, yeah, 93. That's what I meant. Yeah. So next Friday night, we're going to do this for like 3 hours, at 8 p.m. Eastern, just kind of get an idea of what you want to talk about, and we'll be doing that. But the last show of 2024, absolutely crazy. Can't believe this year's gone so quickly. But again, thanks, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the crazy amount of comments we had tonight. Mr. Eric, do you want to send us out, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
There you go.
So, as always, we want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all of our race car friends. Like Mike had just said, the comments were crazy tonight. Views were up. So I appreciate everybody jumping in. And couldn't do it without our sponsors, Summit Racing Equipment, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Perform Built Transmissions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, J-Wire Solutions, Racing Junk, and Power Tube TV. Guys, we will see you on the next episode.
All right, guys. See you soon. Bye.